Thank you guys for tuning in. It's John Kuzma from EndZoneBlog.com's Across the Middle show. We have a great show for you guys today. We're going to talk about Zach Wilson and the New York Jets situation. We're also going to talk about whether or not Mac Jones is a good fit for the 49ers. And we also have an update about Dak Prescott's health. I know you guys are going to love that. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. So most of you know by now that the New York Jets have traded Sam Darnold to the Carolina Panthers, and that paves the way for Zach Wilson. Let's face it, Trevor Lawrence is going to be the first pick, and Zach Wilson is going to be the second pick. You can put that in the books. And the reason that the New York Jets are going with Zach Wilson is because he's so good off script. He doesn't need his feet under him to make the throw and create a play for his team. And when you're someone like the New York Jets that doesn't have a great offensive line, then you need someone like Zach Wilson because it can mask their problems. And what I mean by that is, Sam Darnold was running for his life. And as soon as he took the snap, the pocket started to break down. And you need someone that can improv on the fly. And that's what Zach Wilson does best. He can, get the ball out of his hands when he's on the run. He's got a little bit of Patrick Mahomes and Matthew Stafford in his game where he can kind of throw from any angle. And, it's not going to be a much better situation as far as pass protection goes. So the Jets really need Wilson to come in and do the things that he did at BYU. I know he didn't face great competition there, but he was obviously the strength of that team. And, the Jets just hired Robert Saleh, so they have a good thing with a more competent head coach than Adam Gase was. They also want to get a fresh start at the quarterback position. But that does mean that they won't be drafting a lineman in the first round, which is really the glaring weakness for this team. So Zach Wilson's going to face a lot of the same problems that Sam Darnold faced. We'll really get to evaluate how good he is when we see the results on the field. Because if he, steps up and wins some games for this team and really starts to change the culture there where they believe in that locker room that they can win with Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh, then obviously it's going to be worth it. But if, the pocket is collapsing and Zach Wilson's getting hammered just like Sam Darnold did, history could repeat itself. But, you have to believe that, the Jets are making some progress. They're focusing on defense, which I think is a good thing for them. I think Robert Saleh is going to command more respect in that locker room than Adam Gase did. So it feels like Zach Wilson is going into a better situation than Sam Darnold did. And at least the Jets have that going for them. So the next topic we have is Mac Jones. And there's all these rumors that the 49ers are going with Mac Jones. And, the 49ers brass, John Lynch, and Kyle Shanahan went to Mac Jones' pro day, and Justin Fields had a pro day that same day. And maybe Lynch and Shanahan just wanted to see the other talent that Alabama has, because that's a good place to go and look for draft picks, because we know just how much of a football factory, Alabama is with Nick Saban. But the most important pick is your first overall pick. And if you're the 49ers and you traded up to get your next franchise quarterback, that's probably your top priority. And the fact that they went and checked out Mac Jones could be an indication that they do think Jones can be the answer for their team. Now, Shanahan and Lynch will go to Fields' second pro day, and I have to be honest, it's going to be tough for Jones to beat out Fields. Fields is a better prospect. But if Kyle Shanahan sees something special in Mac Jones, he's got a pretty good eye for offensive talent. Those guys, Brandon Ayuk, hell of a football player. Debo Samuel, hell of a football player. So if he wants to get Mac Jones to go with that nucleus and, reshape this San Francisco offense, then you have to, believe in Kyle Shanahan's decision-making, because he's an offensive mastermind. He knows what works in the National Football League. He's had success as an offensive coordinator and as a, offensive-minded head coach. So if you're John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan wants Mac Jones, then you probably just, take his advice on that one and go with Jones. The next topic we have is Dak Prescott. So it's been a long road back for Dak Prescott. He's had 2 surgeries since injuring his ankle in week 5. And, for Dak Prescott, he got paid, $40 million per year to be the franchise quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. And he's showing some good progress. I would actually say he's ahead of schedule, because we saw a video of him on social media, and, he was taking snaps and he was throwing and he was dropping back and he was planting his feet. Those are things that are tough to do if you're not 100% healthy, especially with a lower leg injury or a foot injury, because you're driving all of your force, that goes throughout your pass, from your feet. It's actually called kinetic energy. You're driving your kinetic energy, which is a force that goes through your body. You transfer the kinetic energy through your throws, but it starts with, planting your feet and driving that energy throughout your body, throughout your throw. And like I said, if Dak wasn't, getting healthier and getting closer to being 100%, it's a lot tougher to do those things. Now, he's not obviously, 100%, but he's getting up there to 70 and 80%, because it's tough to do those things, if you're seriously injured. Dak Prescott is making strides. It does appear that he'll be ready for week 1, which is obviously huge for the Cowboys, because if you pay someone $40 million a year, that player better be healthy or it's not going to work. For the Cowboys, it does appear that he's going to be back. He will be healthy. He's shown, remarkable progress by going out there and throwing, taking snaps, planting his feet, just showing that he's getting back in the swing of things, and he's still got plenty of time ahead of him to really, rehabilitate, his lower leg and, strengthen it to the point where he's confident to play, professional football again. Because remember, the speed of the game at the NFL level can overwhelm you when you're healthy. If you're not, 70, 80, 90% at least, you're not going to be able to play in the NFL. It's going to be really tough. But, Dak Prescott's going to be back. That's huge for the Cowboys. And we'll see if he can make good on his end, because he's getting paid a lot of money. We'll see whether or not the Cowboys can win with him, because Washington and New York have gotten a lot better this offseason. So the Cowboys are going to need they're going to need Dak Prescott to be at his best if they really want to compete in the NFC East this year. That's all I got, though. I'm John Kuzma. Thanks for tuning in. Check out endzoneblock.com.